Listen to this belt on this APU on this Walmart truck. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Hey, how's it going out there today? Let's talk a little weekly recap. Can we? Hope everybody's having a great day. I did 3 loads this week, total of 2,875 miles. Started my week over in Wisconsin and ran over from Wisconsin to Minneapolis, grabbed a load out of Minneapolis, St. Paul area, down to Charlotte, back to Minneapolis. Pretty good week. So let's get down to it. The first load of the week was a relatively short load, 27 empty miles, 390 loaded miles. Paid $1,400. That's $335 a mile to the carrier, $269 a mile to the truck. Basically, I picked this load because this load picked up on Sunday, and I didn't want to set till Monday to start another load. So I took what I could get on a Sunday, and the way that works is it was 1 pick, 3 drops, 1 drop in Wisconsin, 2 drops over in Minnesota, and then 1 in Minneapolis. Rural Minnesota, then Minneapolis. And then we came over to the St. Paul area, grabbed a load out of cold storage, going to cold storage in Charlotte. That load paid $4,100 to the carrier, $3,280 to the truck. Had 15 empty miles on that load, 1,178 loaded miles on that one, for a total of 1,193 miles on that one. I did not do the per mile on that one. So the way that works is probably like $350-ish a mile, somewhere in there. Ballparking it. Good load. It weighed 38,000 pounds. It was negative 10 degrees. The first load was a dry load. I forgot to mention that. Second load was negative 10 degrees. Okay load. The next load was out of the North Carolina. I drove about 150 miles out of Charlotte to get this. This load was 105 empty miles, 1,265 loaded miles. It was a dry load, and it weighed about 35,000 pounds. It was not paying that good. I could not get anything out of Charlotte coming back to this area that I was interested in. It just was not good times. So $1,900 on that to the carrier, $1,520 to the truck. Not a good load at all. Some of the expenses, the first load, I really didn't have any expenses, variable expenses. I didn't buy any fuel on that load. It was only, 417 total miles, and I had plenty of fuel, so I didn't even buy fuel on that one. The second one, I spent $421 on diesel. I spent $66 on reefer. A lot of time on it. That load had a lot of time on it. The 66 in reefer that's a lot for one load, but it's because I babysit that load for quite a bit for those guys. Coming down to the third load, the one coming back, I did buy more diesel on that one. I got horrible fuel mileage. This load coming back killed my fuel economy for the week. I went down into North Carolina right as the hurricane, what was left of the hurricane, I want to say Sally. Right as that one was coming up through like Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina. Okay. I dealt with those winds. I dealt with those rains. And then coming out of North Carolina, it was misery, man. It was straight into the wind, up over the mountains. Not a good time to be trucking. Horrible fuel economy. I was probably down in the 6s on that load at one point. And one thing, I had to get back to Minnesota, so I wasn't just putting around, I was hammered down. So trying to come out of North Carolina through Virginia, West Virginia, up into Ohio. It's a lot of curves, a lot of mountains. It's the West Virginia Turnpike, all that fun stuff. And trying to do it at high speeds into the wind is not beneficial to fuel economy. So I dealt with that all, for the last part of the week. Even today, I got up and drove it on in here, and it is ridiculous. Like, the wind is, probably 15 mile an hour straight out of the south, you know, so it's just trying to push me over onto the right shoulder all morning. So, you know, it is what it is. It's been a rough week on fuel economy. Average fuel economy this week is 7.7 miles per gallon. It's not where I want to be. I like to be well into the 8s, but, you know, a few factors on that. I am getting toward the end of my, my oil change. So I noticed, like, when I get toward the end of my oil change, you know, my, fuel economy drops a little bit. You know, the oil isn't as, doesn't have as much lubricity. Your fuel filters, you know, they start to get a little clogged up. So it will fall off a little bit. You can expect that, you know. So that's 7.7, still okay. I'm still okay with it. Speaking of fuel, if you haven't signed up with the Mud Flap app yet, you should definitely try that if you're buying your own fuel. I'll put a thing up here, right here. I got fuel for $2.07 in Illinois yesterday. You take $2.07, you take the IFTA out of that, I'm getting fuel for $1.46 a gallon, just the underlying diesel price. And I have a video on IFTA. If you haven't watched that, go back and check that out. I try to explain it as simple as I can, but yeah, it's pretty good. $1.46 a gallon, even at 7.7, you know, it's like hardly anything for diesel prices. $2.07 a gallon. That was at Sap Brothers. Like I said, I put the thing up there. You can check that out. Definitely check out the link in the description for Mud Flap. Sign up for it. I got one person that signed up using my promo code so far, and I got him $10 in free fuel. Got me $10 in free fuel, and I appreciate it. By all means, guys, check it out. If you want to save some money on fuel, that one fuel up, if you take the 33 cents a gallon I saved, you know, by the 158 gallons I bought, that's a pretty good savings. You know, 158 gallons times 33 cents a gallon. That's not nothing to sneeze at, you know. Like, you start doing that 2 to 3 times a week, you're banking an extra $150 a week, depending on your truck's fuel economy and, you know, how much you run. Now, when I was at Sap Brothers, there was a couple guys there, an older guy, and he was buying fuel. And I told him about the Mud Flap app. I said, you know, fuel here right now is $2.40 a gallon. If you just buy it cash, that's the cash price, $2.40. I said, you know, if you use this Mud Flap app, you can get it for $2.07 a gallon. And he told me the only thing he uses his phone is to check the weather. And I was like, okay, you know, like, you don't like saving money. And I mean, he had an old International, like the International Eagles, you know, with the flat front. And I'm like, you know, he probably uses quite a bit of fuel if he runs quite a bit, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, like, think of what you could save right here, right now, 33 cents a gallon. I mean, that's nothing, you know, that's nothing to ignore. And then I talked to another guy. He said he was going to check it out. You know, I didn't even waste the time of giving them the promo code. I'm just trying to help people save the money. It's the main thing. I'm not sponsored by Mud Flap. If they want to sponsor me, hit me up. I'm all about sponsorships. But yeah, let's get on to the breakdown on these loads. Okay. So total revenue $7,400 for the week. Total revenue to the truck, or excuse me, to the carrier. I don't know why I've been messing that up here lately on the videos. $7,400 total revenue to the carrier, $5,920 to the truck, and I spent $966 on diesel this week. I spent $66 on reefer. I spent $15 on DEF. I spent $88 on tolls. I spent $12 on one scale. Got lucky. The last place I picked up had a scale. I didn't have to scale. And actually the first pickup had a scale. And I would not have known the first place had a scale if had not been for the fact that there was a train unloading in the building and it blocked the exit. So I had to go around to another exit. And they didn't even tell me they had a scale on site. So I got lucky. I only had to scale that one load down to Charlotte. And that leaves my variable total cost $1,147 for the week. And we come over here. Let's go over, before we go over the big number, let's go over some 287 or 2,000. 875 total miles, 147 empty. That's 5% deadhead. That's $257 a mile to the carrier for all the miles I ran. That's $206 a mile to the truck. I love it when I'm over $2 a mile for all my miles. Not a lot of deadhead. That helped out this week. I think last week and the week before I was like 15% deadhead. So cutting out 10% of deadhead helps. And so yeah, let's go back to variable cost now. Total variable cost $1,147. To the truck revenue $5,920. You subtract $1,147 from $5,920, and it leaves me $4,773 to do what I got to do with. Not a bad week. You know, that's a hard run going down to Charlotte and back, man. It's a lot of mountains, especially when the weather's bad. It's just, it's a stressful week to me. Like running I hate the West Virginia Turnpike. It is so, you know, it's like a workout. You're constantly turning and trying to speed up and slowing down, and to maintain a speed through there is tough. But you know, I'd do it every week if I could make that kind of money every week. So not going to complain too much about it. I appreciate everybody watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you're not subscribed, think about subscribing. Hit that like button for me. I appreciate all that good stuff. Share it out. Leave a comment. I love reading comments. I may not get to all of them really quick because I've been running a lot here lately, but I will definitely try to get to all of them eventually. Thank you for everyone that tunes in to the lives. Come check me out in the live. And until later, guys, take care of each other out there.